Wonderful, wonderful. And a perfect song for the subject today. Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
It's wonderful to be with you once again. One day at the Denver airport, a certain flight got canceled. And the gate agent at gate 37 was doing her very best, moving as fast as she could, to accommodate a long line of inconvenienced passengers. All at once, a man bowled through the line, came up to her desk, slapped his ticket on the counter and said, "I need to be on the next flight and it has to be first class." She said to the gate agent said to the man, "Sir, all these people are in front of you. When I have finished serving them, I will be happy to serve you as well." He glared at her and said, "Do you have any idea who I am?" Without missing a beat, the gate agent picked up her microphone and said, "Ladies and gentlemen, there is a man here at gate 37 who doesn't know who he is. If anyone can help him discover his identity, please come to gate 37. Yesterday, our focus was on your spiritual community's identity, who you are called to be now, and on where you are going from here. That master of the English language, Yogi Berra, said a couple of things about this. First, he said, you've got to be careful if you don't know where you're going, because you might not get there. And he said, if you don't know where you're going, chances are you'll end up somewhere else. Thank you, Yogi. The title of the lesson this morning is Living Our Spiritual Vision. Roy Oswalt, who's one of the founders of the Alban Institute, the organization that's been supporting all denominations of churches for the last several decades in being more of what they can be, once said, "There is nothing more potent than a group of people who hold a vision in common." And of course, it was Margaret Mead who famously said, "Never doubt the power of a small group of people to change the world. Indeed, it is the only thing that ever has." Yesterday, I worked with a group of 28 people here to come up with a new vision for Unity of Santa Barbara, a new mission, a new set of core values, a set of next bold actions that are possible to take, and asked each of them if they would be willing to commit to a spiritual stretch, which they did. These people all demonstrated a high level of ownership for Unity of Santa Barbara, and I would love it if you would please stand and let us thank you for your work here yesterday. Thank you very, very much. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And since I'm speaking of people demonstrating a great deal of ownership for this ministry, could I also have everybody stand who has been involved with this wonderful Chili Con Carnival today, if you would let us thank you as well? Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you. There's a story in one of the Indiana Jones movies where Indiana is fleeing these people who are trying to kill him. He's running as fast as he can, and he gets to a certain cliff, and it looks like it's a bottomless pit. And he stands there for a moment, and he's trying to decide, should I go back or should I go forward? And then he realizes that this is all about trust and commitment to the path that he's on. And so takes his courage in his hand, and he takes a step into what looks like the abyss. And as you may remember from the movie, as soon as he does it, a pillar rises. And so by the time his foot gets to the level he's on, it lands on solid ground. And then he takes another step, and the same thing happens, and another, and another, and another, until he is safely across the chasm, and he goes on to accomplish the mission that he set out to do. Once we have a direction, each new step appears because resources always follow vision and commitment. I'd like to say that phrase one more time and then ask you to join with me in affirming it together. So here's what it is. Resources always follow vision and commitment. Together. Resources always follow vision and commitment. In the past, in unity, the minister or the minister and the board used to get together to decide the vision and mission for the ministry. These days, our focus is on empowering people, so everyone is invited to participate. Yesterday, we got clear as to what Unity of Santa Barbara is called to be now, because we need to keep updating our vision and our mission. Today, I have a question for each of you. Why are you here? So first of all, there's two parts of this question. Why are you here on planet Earth? First. There's an old story that comes to us from medieval times about a certain monk whose name was Bernard. Every morning when Bernard got up, he'd sit on the edge of his bed and look at the opposite wall in his little cell. And there was a large sign there that he got to look at every morning that said, "Bernard, why are you here?" What a wonderful way to remind ourselves every day, why am I here? The second part of that question is, why are you in this congregation on this particular day? Of course, we all know here that there are no accidents. No doubt, you have seen the world's problems, the world's issues, and something inside you wants to be a force for good. We're all here because we have a higher vision for the world. Moses also had a vision. One day, he was out tending his father-in-law's flocks, seeming like he was just minding his own business. And all of a sudden, a vision came to him. The vision was of a burning bush that would not be consumed. A burning bush that would not be consumed is a Hebrew and an Aramaic figure of speech. It means a problem that will not go away. Moses' burning bush was the fact that he had a vision, and it would not go away. His vision was he was the one to lead the Israelites out of slavery in Egypt. Perhaps we can all relate to the fact that he argued with God for a while. God, this is a bad idea, and I'll tell you why. First of all, I'm a wanted man in Egypt. I can't go back there. Secondly, I'm no public speaker. And probably he had some other arguments as well. But of course, finally, that burning bush would not go away because the burning bush was in his heart. Michael Bernard Beckwith once said, "We're pushed by problems until we're pulled by a vision." Jesus had a vision. He had a global vision. His vision was that the kingdom of God, or the kingdom of heaven, was in every person on earth. And of course, we know that that was another figure of speech from Aramaic. The kingdom of heaven is an experience of oneness with all that God is. So in other words, Jesus' vision was that everybody on earth is a divine being. Jesus also had a mission. He told he told us what it was when he said, the things that I do, you will do. And the reason that you will do them is because I'm going to teach you how. And then he sent his former disciples out as missionaries, people to carry his mission to other parts of the world. Everyone on earth has a part to play in creating heaven on earth. Marshall McLuhan once said, there aren't any passengers on spaceship Earth. Everybody is crew. And someone else said, I don't know who said this, but I like it a lot. He said, if you think that you're too small to make a difference, you've obviously never spent a night in bed with a mosquito. Was that the Dalai Lama who said that? Thank you. Now I know who said it and why I like it so much. So as we discern a mission and vision for this spiritual community, I invite you to ask yourself, what is my personal mission? My personal mission for the last 35 years has been to experience my oneness with God's power of creation, God's love, God's wisdom, and God's aliveness, and to teach others how they can do the same. Our mission is an inner compass. With each decision we make, we can ask ourselves, am I on purpose or off purpose? Am I on mission or off mission? Yesterday, we asked everybody there, what is the biggest dream, the biggest wish, the biggest vision that you have for the world? So today I'm going to ask you, imagine that you go to bed tonight, and when you wake up tomorrow, the world is just as you would like it to be. How would that be? Someone once said, too, maybe it was the Dalai Lama, I don't know. Anyone can see the seeds in it, but the world is changed by people who can see the apples in a seed. Jesus also said in another place, you say there are 4 months and then comes the harvest. But I say, lift up your eyes, for the fields are already white unto harvest. So today I'm going to ask us all to lift up our eyes. What's your vision for the world? Maybe it would include things like peace, harmony, and abundance for all. Yesterday, those of us who were here perceived a new vision statement for Unity of Santa Barbara, which we present to you today for your input. The vision that we discern together is this, and it's on your it's a yellow sheet, right? Which I hope everybody has one of. The vision we all discern together is this. Centered in divine love, we celebrate a kind and awakened world filled with peace, abundance, and joy. Centered in divine love. This love is the harmonizing, unifying force. It's unconditional, and it's extending itself to everyone. We celebrate, which means we joyfully accept it, and we see this in our mind's eye as the reality right now. A kind world. Everything in this world is everyone in this world is gently loving each other, seeing the best in and wanting the best for all of us. An awakened world. Everyone is kind because we are all awake, consciously aware of our inherent divinity. Filled with peace. we are all saturated, everyone on earth, with harmony, since we have all resolved our inner conflicts. And attack in any form is just part of the past. Filled with abundance, there is no lack of any kind in this world, physical, emotional, or spiritual. Everyone has more than enough. And filled with joy, everyone on earth emanates a quiet sense of happiness and well-being. So I'm going to invite you and have us all affirm this new vision statement together. So have you got it? Together, centered in divine love, we celebrate a kind and awakened world filled with peace, abundance, and joy. How does that sound? How does it feel? Good. And once we had the vision, we asked another question. What is our part to do here at Unity of Santa Barbara? How do we contribute to making this vision happen? This how is our mission statement, our mission. So the mission that we discerned yesterday is we inspire, educate, and serve to awaken to our oneness in spirit. So first, we inspire. Having breathed in spirit through prayer and meditation, we radiate and extend Spirit's love, power, wisdom, and aliveness to everyone. We educate. We are all Unity students here, learning to apply spiritual principles in our daily lives. We educate in the truest sense of that word, which means to draw forth from within each of us. We serve, because to give and to serve are how we recognize all that we have received, and it's also the fastest path to spiritual growth. We do this to awaken. We are all becoming more and more aware of our innate divinity and that we are already whole right now. To our oneness in spirit. And as most of you, many of you know, Jesus' word for God was spirit. Spirit is the moving force of the universe. To our oneness in spirit means not only are we one with God, we are also one with each other. So let's speak this new mission statement together. Will you join me? Together, we inspire, educate, and serve to awaken to our oneness in spirit. How does it sound? Good. So, now it's time for your input for each one of these, the vision and the mission. This is not a vote, but it's input. What we're going to ask each of you today is each of these at least an 8 on a scale of 8 to 10? So, we're going to ask you to make a mark to actually write the number that you would give it onto that piece of paper that you have. 8's great. 10 is even better. 1's the worst. Yeah, scale of 1 to 10, so at least an 8 on a scale of 1 to 10. And if it isn't at least an 8, what would it take to make it at least an 8 in your mind? So I'm going to give you a few minutes to go within. And make your marks. And when you're finished, if you would simply hand them toward the center, the ushers will come forward, and receive them.
You want all of it, not just people below the 8 mark.
No, I want everybody. Yeah. So if you would, please, and ushers, if you would start maybe at the front and move back toward the back.
Is
anyone in need of one of these? Okay. We have one person in need. She has an appearance of need. She's not in need. Thank you. And so if you would start in the front, please, and then just work your way back, that would be great. And if you haven't had time to write all that you wanted to write, you can also give them to us at the end of the service. You don't need to be rushed. The board will review all of these sheets. And if the statement doesn't change based on something that you recommended, please know that the chances are excellent that we already talked about this yesterday at the workshop. So it's input, not a vote. But we want to hear from you as well. And then, of course, finally, we came up with a new set of core values. So I want to share with you, and I know that you already gave your sheet to the usher, so you don't have it in front of you right now. So I am going to just say them each and ask you after each one if you would affirm it with me. So after each one, please affirm with me. We are community together. We are community. We are abundance.
We are abundance.
We are love.
We are love.
We are God-centered.
We are God-centered.
We are inclusive. We are living consciously.
We are living consciously.
We have a team who volunteered yesterday to turn these values into a set of behaviors. It's not enough just to have values. We have to know what they mean. So we're going to turn them into a set of behaviors which will be taught to all new members in new member classes. And also, we're going to ask to include those core values. This is my recommendation, that we include them each Sunday along with our new mission and our new vision. So these core values are how we as a community walk our talk. They are our standards of integrity. So these three elements, vision, mission, and core values, will now act as your compass here at Unity of Santa Barbara. They will guide this ministry into its greater possibility. They will act as a magnet to draw people to you. They will also guide you on your ministerial search. So remember, you're not looking for the best new minister. You're looking for the right new minister. The one who feels aligned with your vision, your mission, and your core values. There's a story about Christopher Wren, the great architect from England, who was visiting one of the cathedrals that he had designed. And on the site, there were 3 bricklayers that he visited. And he asked each one, "What are you doing?" The first bricklayer said, "I'm laying bricks." The second bricklayer said, "I'm laying bricks to feed my family." The third bricklayer, when asked, "What are you doing?" said, "I'm helping Christopher Wren build a magnificent cathedral to the glory of God." Obviously, this one had caught the vision. So what I'm going to ask you today, I invite you to join us in co-creating this community, to be part of who is Unity of Santa Barbara called to be now, or what are they called to be now. So please join in owning and living this new vision, this new mission, and this new set of core values. Namaste. Thank you.